Do you have clothes you rarely or do not use anymore? Those can already be considered textile wastes. We do not wear at least 50% of clothes we own, and almost one-third of Filipinos throw away a clothing item after wearing it just once. Hi, I'm Prince, a clothing technologist, fashion social technopreneur, consultant, designer, stylist, and I am the lead champion of circular fashion in the Philippines. The fashion industry contributes up to 10% of global carbon emissions. Textiles are a major source of primary microplastics in our oceans, and clothing is highly underutilized. With the linear fashion system we have today, one garbage truck of used and unsold clothes and other textiles is incinerated or landfilled every second worldwide. Only about 10% end up being recycled and only 8% end up being reused. With this, we are missing out on 460 billion US dollars of value each year by throwing away clothes we could still continue to wear. We also experience a wasteful one-wear culture as a wardrobe manager for TV, films, and personalities. But those are about to change as we transition to a circular fashion with you. Wear Forward is a premier clothing as a service that provides an AI-powered circular fashion marketplace and virtual wardrobe that aims to reduce textile wastes, increase clothing lifespans and utilization, and promote collaborative consumption of fashion. Users like you can buy, sell, rent out, borrow, lend, swap, pre-order, get for free, and donate pre-loved, sustainable, upcycled, dead stock, custom-made, and locally made clothes, accessories, and other textiles. You can also avail textile waste collection and management, fashion consulting, styling, wardrobe management, alterations, repairs, recycling, workshops, trainings, and other fashion and refashion services from Wear Forward and our partner brands and service providers, all in one place. Our beachhead market is the almost 700,000 Filipina millennials and Zoomers aged 15 to 40 worth 5 million USD. Some are fashion entrepreneurs or engaged in second-hand clothing resale. This expands to a market valued at 34 million USD, with a second-hand clothing industry said to be growing by 20% and our market share growing to 40%. While the bigger opportunity here is a global resale market worth 84 billion USD by 2032. There is no marketplace yet exclusive to upcycled and sustainable fashion, and the few available local brands who upcycle don't deal with both pre and post-consumer textile wastes and don't offer both products and services. Wear Forward stands out as the first all-in-one clothing as a service platform powered by artificial intelligence with a strong focus on circular fashion. We prioritize on co-creation, community building, and impact reduction with convenience, security, traceability, and transparency. So through Wear Forward, you can share a wide range of competitively priced fashion pieces, have a quick access to fashion and refashion services with just a few clicks, and source easily for sustainable and local textile materials and textile wastes for raw material use. You'd be able to manage your wardrobe by digitally organizing and auditing your wardrobe, planning your daily looks, and getting personalized and localized recommendations from our AI stylists and other users. It further connects waste donors to brands and communities they can support for collection and recycling. And right now, we're also developing our fashion carbon footprint calculator, where you can find out about your personal fashion footprint and the steps you can take to reduce your impact and be more mindful about your fashion choices. We are a B2B and B2C with our revenue streams primarily including transaction fees from sales and rentals, fees for fashion and refashion services, marketplace commissions, and advertisements and sponsorships, while building strategic partners focusing on 5 SDGs. With our initial 20% target market share, we see a total profit of over 1.8 billion US dollars on our third year. And we've grown our traction to more than 20,000 people in our community, collected and diverted from our landfills more than 20,000 kilograms of textile wastes with 10 textile waste collection hub partners, including the biggest malls nationwide. And we've also conducted over 100 local and international fashion events and workshops and worked with over 100 organizations. And we've also won 2 circular economy competitions, given 3 awards, featured in over 15 media platforms, and currently we're doing wardrobe for some of the biggest stars series and movie projects. All of these are circular fashion on the web and on your phone, with Wear Forward as your go-to clothing as a service platform. So with me are Daniel, our technology engineer, and Julie, our stakeholder engagement engineer. And this is a journey together. Let's make fashion sustainable and circular in the Philippines and the world. With you and Wear Forward, the world will be a cleaner and more sustainable home to live in. Wear forward today, wear forward tomorrow.
Thank you for that, Prince. Very exciting, circular economy and fashion. It looks fresh. So, quick question. You mentioned AI a couple of times. So how is the AI tech applied here?
Okay, mainly our AI is will be applied on our personal style recommendations and making the recommendations localized. So for example, if you're in a city or in a barangay, as we call the smaller communities here in the Philippines, and you have your own set of preferences, your sizes, etc., we can match your similar style with the rest nearby you. So if in case in your calendar, for instance, in the app, or in the platform, you have an upcoming wedding that you want to attend to, and then there's another user in your area who have the same size or preference, then we can easily match you or recommend their wardrobe to you and so on. And through AI also, we can do trend forecasting and analysis for upcoming, not just the wardrobe or the clothes that are already in the users platforms, but or wardrobes, but basically upcoming trends in sustainability or in ethical fashion, and also mainly in inventory management and optimization. So
Okay.
in our platform, there's a main page there on virtual wardrobe, which we haven't developed yet, although we made some like image mock-ups wherein there we want to highlight the impact of your own wardrobe. So instead, right now in social media, you have your own like number of followers, etc. We want to include there like the number of clothes or fashion pieces you have, the cumulative number of carbon footprint that you have, given that you're renting out or buying pre-loved clothes from other users and so on.
Right. So it doesn't sound like something Chat GPT, it's something powered by Chat GPT. It sounds like something you will have to build from scratch, your own. So do you have someone in your team who is an AI expert to do this R&D?
Daniel is an AI expert and also does machine learning. So he also has been tapped by Google in the Philippines for some work. Yeah, and then we worked with other tech guys or tech people in the past, or mainly for as consultants or to guide us on our direction. But since we're a very lean team right now, we're only three working in
Right.
this, so we're kind of slow. But yeah, hopefully with the resources that we can also maybe get from you, we'll be able to scale faster.
Got it. Another question on the AI aspect. So you want to do a lot of personalization, and personalization in machine learning would mean that you need to have a lot of data, or from the customer or from the user, or models that you have, something to train on. Do you have access to that? Do you have that? Or if not, then how are you building your AI personalization feature?
So we've looked into some, there are actually existing platforms like in Europe, for example, but they are mainly focusing on just virtual wardrobe and just one part of a wardrobe or just a calendar for a wardrobe, etc. and others. We don't have access on them, but right now we are trying to localize our data in the Philippines primarily with the behavioral aspects of Filipinos. And in the Philippines, actually, it's unfortunate that we don't have any baseline data on, for example, the textile consumption, etc. Although in Wareford, we did a mini survey or a study in 2019 on that. And we are also working with other CSOs and the government to create this circular economy data platform, where in there we can also pioneer the data on the consumption behavior of Filipinos.
Okay. But have you acquired any substantial data for yourself on your own already?
We cannot say it's already substantial that it can represent the whole population that we want to target, but we have already started. Yes.
Okay. All right. Jason, over to you. Sorry, Jason, you're muted.
Yeah, it's a big mission on what you want to achieve, but it has to be backed up by the necessary team members, and maybe I find that is an area that you can focus on. And I had a look through your business verticals on how you generate revenue. In terms of your service line, I find that to be quite a lot in which you are trying to tackle, from consulting to styling to sourcing. And these are quite big elements that brands have quite dedicated teams to do them well. So I was wondering, is there one specific area of service that you like more than the others, or you seem to get more traction in?
That's a very good question, Jason. Actually, since also we've spent the most of our time experimenting on these services, like which ones are have the more traction, etc. And by now we've considered some top services. For instance, in terms of our textile collection and management. So there's a lot. That's actually one of the top inquiries that we are getting from people, and not just in Metro Manila but in other islands of the Philippines, wherein we get their textiles, and then we also partner with another private company wherein right now we are doing some R&D on developing these textiles with plastic waste into something else. And then another revenue stream we have right now is on our styling and wardrobe management for our producers, or for shows, for instance, for TV shows or for films. So I am tapped by some of the biggest entertainment companies in the Philippines, and then when they get us to dress up their celebrities, for instance, for a project, etc., we look into the clothes that we already have in our wardrobe, or we sometimes upcycle or recycle, and so on. And not just through Wear Forward, but sometimes with our platform, even though it's not yet fully functional right now, we do sourcing through other users, or designers or stylists as well, with the resources that others need.
Can you go back to the revenue slides and show us, maybe like explain a bit, like because I too have the same thought like Jason. I find that your monetization model seems to be similar to an e-commerce platform, that you want to get, you know, a percentage of the transaction fee, and then after that you've got a few numerous revenue, you know, like stream. So like, yeah, I too wonder, like, how are you going to focus on all of this if there's only three of you, you know, just to do one part right and good? It's so difficult as is, you know. So yeah.
Yes.
So sorry to interrupt. So on one hand, you resonate with collecting of textiles and minimizing waste, but on the other hand, you're designing fashion for celebrities for some fashion events. These are so they're like opposite ends of
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
scale, you know, and collecting textiles and logistics and warehousing and transportation is quite a big you know, challenge in itself. So if you
Yes.
had to choose one,
Yes.
given limited resources, what would you choose?
Wait, we are fortunate, right?
Hypothetical question.
Yeah, Actually, I'm proud to say, and we are fortunate that since 2018, I've kind of built the network with the supply chain in fashion already. That's why I've also been like recognized as the lead champion in circular fashion in the country. So we've built our connections or our partnerships with the government, with the Philippine Textile Research Institute, and several other academe and private companies and organizations. So with different aspects of our business models, we're kind of doing okay. But I agree that we need to focus first on like a few top or streamline. So especially in our development with our platform, that's why when we are doing our research or when we are looking at the behavior of people in terms of our community, that's
Right.
how we are trying to develop the next features or parts of
Sure. So
the
based on what you've
platform. So more on like rentals and
right,
swapping, because
right,
that's something that they haven't really experienced much yet in the Philippines.
right. So
And
based
they
on
are,
what you have just shared, which revenue stream is currently generating you the most money? And
the
that can be repetitive as well. Like you can generate recurring revenue from that and scale.
Yes, I'd say the styling and wardrobe for different production and projects in the entertainment, because when we receive the project, it's not only our team who will handle them, but we also give the projects to the other stylists or wardrobe people or fashion designers, etc.
And
So
how
it's
much will
kind of
you
building
earn
the
from that?
community. Per project, it depends. It ranges from around 20 to 40 or to 60 thousand pesos
20 to 4
to
to 4,
60.
okay, to 40 to 60 pesos. Okay,
Yes.
got it. Okay. Is this something you see that you can scale?
Yes, that's what we are already somehow doing in a small scale right now. But since the platform is not yet fully functional, we haven't tested the full capacity of it yet. Because there's
Right.
a lot of different places as well, or islands in the Philippines who have different service providers, or even the laundry, etc. We can connect them with people.
Right. So from what you've explained, it seems that a lot of your production, your service offering, it's also offline, like e-hailing, or like delivery apps. The online component, it's only minimal to the rest of the service offering where you need humans. So
Mm.
how can you then scale this operation to, let's say, to be the champion of the entire Philippines whilst saving cost, at the same time maximizing your revenue?
Right. In terms of doing, I think we have the full, if we have the full power in terms of our platform or the online, it's
Mm,
easier to scale the in the physical or
mm,
the human aspect of it, because
mm.
our model could also be easily implemented in different areas. And
Right.
with just the easy access with the platform or online, it's also easier for others to, yeah, to get these, for example, alterations, repairs.
Got it.
So we've also talked with the traditional in person like repair
Mm,
shops, and they
mm.
are also uh looking forward for them to be integrated in the platform, for them to
Right.
get more like customers as well.
I've got another question about your team. Has
Mhm.
anyone in your team worked in a startup before? Anyone with startup experience, startup business experience?
In our current team, there's
Mm,
none. These are our first startup, but
first one.
previously with our consultants or
Mm,
our other team members, they've also been part of other startups.
mm.
And also they somehow focused on their other big startups. That's why they are not with us anymore. But yeah, they are still with us in terms of mentoring.
Right. Got it. Jason, any last questions?
Um, Maybe just more assistance with his getting more clarity of thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that your vision is quite big,
Mm,
but and you need to scale it down. do something. There's a lot of things here that work really well, but it will not, well, maybe due to my limited experience in fashion, it will not work well together. Um, like textile collection, if you can really be the best textile collector in the Philippines and streamline it end to end, there's a lot of ways that can scale, and then you can have partnerships with carbon credits, and a lot of things can be done there. And companies would want to partner with you and get your branding just so that they can be associated with some kind of waste collection services, or some kind of do good, give back to society kind of programs. So that's one thing. And then you've got your other thing where you're popular and people engage you for consulting services. And I think these two things need not mix together. Yes, it's good to collect waste and reuse it, but people who go for like fashion stylists may not want to reuse things that are not the latest in Milan or somewhere. And that segment of people, so what I'm saying, recycling is good, focus on it, and you can grow it. But if you want to do styling industry, then you should go all the way in it and forget about recycling. And if you want to be like the Uber for beauty, it's a growing market right now. I think there's a gap in this market in Asia where there's like, I want to call someone, I've got a party, I want to call someone to do my hair and figure out what I want to wear. And I go through like an Insta portfolio of stylists close to me I can hire for 3 hours. That is one aspect that is like really solid. So I find that maybe you got to figure out what you're really good at. But it sounds like you're better in the styling industry, and you can maybe get quite a good kick in there. Just some thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. In the recycling context, I've actually got one question that's bugging me. How do you deal with so these are clothing that you recycle, and then after that they are then repurchased by consumers, the market? Is that right?
Yes. So some of the recycling we do in Wear Forward, and some our partners, like partner fashion brands or designers, upcycle for themselves.
Right. So how do you deal with the hygiene then?
So basically, when we accept the clothes, we sort them out according to how else we can extend their value. So some of them, actually, there are a lot of people who are donating to us who have, like, I think they have just worn it for once, or some brands, they donate their clothes with tags. They haven't been really worn yet. So those we put them for rental, for resale, for swapping, and for the rest, if they are kind of worn out, we put them out for reshedding and for making other non-wearable materials or products. Yes. So we also have some like cleaning and to do that.
I see. Got it. Yeah.
So we see.
Sorry?
Yeah. So in the long run, we also see Wear Forward. Like, for instance, if we go to Singapore, you don't need to bring your big luggage anymore. You can just book or like take some clothes in the Wear Forward app, and then when you arrive in the country, just it's delivered to your hotel and so on.
Right. I'm not sure about the Singaporeans if they, well, unless you are not tackling the mid level and the high fashion market, maybe because I'm personally a health freak, like I will not even let people like my friends wearing outside clothes to sit on my bed, for instance. So like I can't imagine, like, if thinking about recycling, like to me it's a mental block, but this is me. But I believe there could be a lot of me, who have a similar thing. Like, if I want to get all this, okay, I understand it looks great, but how then, if it's worn by other people, then that bugs me. So I just wonder, like, how do you solve that problem? Are you doing it yourself? If you're doing it yourself, then wouldn't that be at scale, wouldn't that be costly? And then or are you going to transfer that to your entirely, you don't care about that at all, you just let your consumer handle that themselves, then you don't have to bear the burden of that cost. Yeah.
For now, we do everything on our own, just so we can also control the quality,
Right.
and the sanitation and so on. But
Right.
in a long term, we want it to become decentralized.
I understand. Jason, any last words? Any last question from you?
I don't know. Do I pivot? Oh well, hopefully this more comments is better than none, right? So you can
Right.
just take things not too hard. But I think you have promised to become like a Uber for makeup artists and stylists, and just focus on that. Because you've got the network, you've got the friends, and you've got the media reach. And maybe park this for a while and see how far you can bring that idea, because that seems to resonate with you deeply. Just passing thought. Yeah.
I agree. I mean, if you have built a community of 20,000 plus, that's not small in this region. But if you're comparing to China or India, that's nothing. But yeah, so I agree with Jason. Just focus on one and then do well. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Endeavors.
you. Yep. All the best.